So class, welcome to our today's session. We are going to finish on the balance sheet, a question under cooperative society. And therefore, I call upon everyone to open that question and we start working on it. This Marula farmer, it was December 2022. December 2022, it was question number 2. December 2022, question number 2. December 2022, question number 2. Now, I know you're still coming back to class. Now, can you confirm whether you have the question with you? Please confirm whether you have the question with you. Oh, okay, Nambila tried. That's very good. So make sure that you have a red pen. Make sure that you have a red pen to mark. And then at the end of the day, we shall indicate how many marks you have recouped. So can you first of all tell me whether you have the question? That's the first thing. Because I just want us to look at it. Then we do. In fact, we are doing the last thing. We came up with a statement of profit or loss. We attributed the profit, and then we are looking at the statement of financial position as at 31st December 2021. Now, somebody is confirming whether they have the paper. Somebody can as well send the paper very fast. We want to save time. So I'm just waiting for 2 individuals to confirm whether they have the paper. 2 seconds for that. Somebody can as well share the paper. I know some people even cannot trace the paper. You cannot trace the paper. I have the paper. Thank you so much. There are individual to confirm so that we are able to do what? So whatever that we are doing here, class, it is this is Marula Limited. Marula Farmers Cooperative Society. For society. Farmers Cooperative Society. Farmer Cooperative Society. Statement of financial position. As at. This is a snapshot class, and that's why we say it is as at that date. This prepared as at that date. So that we can see the actual as at 31st of December 2021. 31st of December 2021. 31st of December 2021. As at 31st of December 2021. Therefore, in this case, we say that we do not classify the assets. We do not specify the asset, whether non-current or current. If you clearly look at the format that we drew, we just put the asset and then we indicated like that, and we were done. So don't classify asset whether they are non-current asset or current asset, because here we are having assets which are just like general assets. So I want us to check and see how many columns should we have in our case here. How many columns should we have in our case here? In this question, I can see that it is good. It is good that we have one column can do. we can adjust our item. We can adjust our item in that what? That question. So we can have just one column. So in this case, I'll be having shillings in thousand. Yeah. So shillings in thousand, and I have no. I'm not going to specify here. I'm going to start. Just put my assets. Assets. Just put assets. Okay. Assets. According to your financial accountant, what were you taught? According to the financial accounting, what were you taught? You can arrange your asset according to what? The liquidity, according to how liquid they are. So you start with the most liquid. You start with the most liquid, to that, you're done. So I want us to look at these assets, the assets that we have here. Can somebody identify for me one of the assets? Can somebody identify for me one of the assets? One of the assets, and remember, always remember dealer. Remember dealer. Always remember. Always carry this, right? So that you'll be in a position to do what? All these are debited, right? Drawing, expenses, and all assets. They are debited in the trial balance, right? Then these one are credited in the trial. That guides you always. So you cannot go to look at an asset on the credit side. Can you give me some assets there? Okay. Somebody is looking at the assets. Down there, I can see cash in hand. That is most liquid. Most liquid. Most liquid. Cash in hand. Cash in hand. And also receivable. So people have started looking at the assets. So in the first case, we are told that we have cash in hand. Then somebody told me of receivables. Okay, now the two, Wakulima Limited Saving. You see, Wakulima Limited Saving, cash in hand, Wakulima Bank Limited Saving. Okay, sasa, first of all, can you tell me how much is our cash in hand? Tell me how much is our cash in hand in this case? Saving, cash 540. I hope everyone is able to see that our cash is 540. Asante. Then receivable, I don't think receivable is the most liquid in this case. How when you want to owe our debtors, before they pay us, maybe we can go to the bank. Wakulima Limited what? We can ask for the savings. Wakulima Bank Limited Saving. Wakulima Bank Limited Saving. Wakulima Bank Limited Saving. How much is it? How much is it? How much is the value? How much is the value? Just check. 67.80. 67.80. Now check. Below do we have investment in Wakulima Bank Limited? That's still our money that we can get it very fast. Investment in Wakulima Bank Limited. How much is it? That is also an asset. And that's why we don't classify this. Now, you're going to classify how? You don't classify, just put them according to the liquidity that way. Or if you don't know how to arrange according to the liquidity, just put them. Just put the receipt 550. Asante 6 550. Can you tell me any other? Now we can go to the receivable. You can see there was receivable for the two members and non-member. Can you add the two and give me the total? Just put it here, members and non-members. Receivables for members, non-members. Ni sawa tu, katu hapo. Ni ngapi? Ukiongeza zote mbili. Naona kwa member wako ngapi? 2690 na non-member 22500. Ukiongeza 25190. 25190. I hope that's the correct figure. 25190. Asante Nambila. Asante. I read that speed. Then, can you tell me any other asset that you can identify? Any other asset that you can identify will be highly valued. Will be highly valued. Very fast. Just check. And I've told you that. What do we get assets? Please, be in love with this. Be in love with dealer. Be in love with dealer. Assets are found on that. Yeah, obvious. It could be any. When you are in love with dealer, it becomes very easy. It becomes very easy. We know that you cannot go to find assets on the credit side. Yeah? Office equipment. And there are those items that were for income statement. So it's easy. It's easy. So office equipment. How much? What's the value? Thank you, Jane. Thank you, Mary. What's the value here? 900. People are giving me 900. Any other item? Any other item? Our assets. Wow. Yes. Asante. It become easy. Once you become in love with the dealer. Loans to members. Yes, that's an asset to us. Tumempatia members loans to members. Ni asset yetu. Hisi sana. Watia loan. Na loan how much? Worth how much? Yeah, loan to members. 972, 340. 972, 340. 972, 340. Any other item? Any other item? Nataka kuona kama kuna mtu anaona hiyo, kuna kingine kamejificha. There was some due to borrow. Kama umeiona hiyo. Any other? Bado hajaona. Any other item under our assets? We had Bora Limited. There was some amount due. Nani naweza kumbuka ni ngapi? Amount due. Our Bora Limited. Amount due. Bora Limited. Amount due. Bora Limited. Ilikuwa ngapi? Bado hajaona. Can you check the question very well? Pole tu, usiwe na haraka. Bado hajapata bado. Can you remember? Look at additional information number 1. Additional information number 1. Unajua wenye hawakukumbuka hii out. Kuna mark ilipotea. Bora Limited market safi and Mzuri brands for Marura Society. On 31st December 2021, Bora Limited sold Safi and Mzuri brands for 175,000 United States dollar and 11,300 US dollar respectively. Bora Limited limited the above amount to Marura Farmers Wakulima Bank account on 15th January 2022. Marura Farmers Cooperative Society does not maintain a US dollar account in Wakulima Limited. So there is amount due to Bora Limited. Amount due to Bora Limited for the two products. Remember, we converted that money into Kenya shillings since we are dealing with the Kenya shillings. So you can remind me the amount of The first one is, let me see. Okay, the first one is safi. We are having safi na mzuri. Safi na mzuri, the product. So can you remind me, safi amount ilikuwa ngapi in Kenya shilling? Remember we converted. We had to convert since we are dealing with this 17,500. 17,500. I know. The other one was we converted. Please give me the other one. I want class to join them so that we can have amount due to Bora Limited. Safi ni 17,500. Huyo mwingine ni hapo chini 11,530. 11,530. So add the two. This is amount due. I can just put it here for your revision purposes. Amount due. Don't forget for the product. Amount due. Bora Limited. So total ni ngapi? Amount due to Bora Limited. That is total ni ngapi? On conversion rate, why not use December rate? A very nice question from Mary. Somebody else is giving me the total there. So Mary, if you can look at that question, when was the money limited? Just look at the additional information number 1. When was the money limited? And we are going to look at the rate at which January ngapi. You should be very specific, which is January 15. If I'm not wrong. May look at it where January Wakulima Bank limited the above amount to Marula farmers Wakulima Bank account on 15th January 2022, right? 15th January 2022, and that's why we are using the rate of what? The rate at which the money was limited. So wakati alienda kwa bank, hiyo wakati the rate ilikuwa hivyo. You know, these rates keep on fluctuating, by the way. They are not static. The rate keep on fluctuating. Today, the dollar might be selling at 130. Tomorrow, it might be selling at 140. So it keep on changing. I hope Mary, we are together. 20, 29, 0 baht. 29, 0 baht. 29, 0 baht. Mary, pamoja. Now, can you give me the total? Of our assets? Or before then, I would like to know for those people who did up at corner 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 entries. How many entries do you have correct? Because I told you that here we are dealing with the entries. How many entries do you have correct? How many? We have 7 here. How many entries do you have correct? Because we shall not even mark this, whatever that. Nambia, you have it. 7, 6. This is very good. This is even before we go to our capital. And you know, when you know dealer, when you understand dealer, right, it becomes easier for you. Because now, for the equity and liability and other things, we shall be looking at the liability, equity, and revenue. And I also added something when we were looking at published financial account, that accumulated depreciation is it's just on the credit side. We credit accumulated depreciation. So it does not fall under expense, like say. I usually add 1 here to represent accumulated depreciation. So this one. Unajua depreciation ya kawaida itafall hapa. So you should note that. So I just adjust kidogo that you're able to look at the other side of So class, we can go to the other side of the question. For this one, you give me later. Later, I told you that this one does not have any mark. It does not have 103, 1061, okay, right. 1061, somebody is giving us 1061. Hello. You shall confirm. So let's go to the next part. The next part is under equity. Equity section. Equity section. So class, under equity section, under equity section, under equity section, so under equity section, class, we have put it here. So under equity section, tutakuwa na kitu kama reserve. We shall be having reserve. Naona figures tofauti pale. Tutakuwa na reserves. Under equity section tutakuwa na reserve. Tutakuwa na members deposit. Members deposit. It's always good to know this. Tutakuwa na vitu kama share capital. Share capital. Hizo ndizo ziko under that. Unaziweka zote. So can you identify one for me? Can you identify one for me? Share capital. Already share capital. Haya. Huyo asha identify share capital. Ni ngapi? What's the value? 900,000 share capital. Share capital. Now we are looking at our what? Our credit side. We are looking at our credit side. Share capital pale 900,000. 900,000. 900,000. I hope everyone has seen that. I hope everyone has seen that. Just below the fee. Their capital is 900,000. 900,000. Then let's look at another item. Above there, we have dividend from investment, okay? Accrued rent is a Sunday provision. We have okay. So we can look at revaluation. There is revaluation reserve. How much is the value of revaluation reserve from your end? Revaluation reserve. Is this 750? Naona pale revaluation reserve 750. Revaluation reserve. $750. Members deposits. So somebody said this. Members deposit. Members deposit. Members deposit nikiangalia. How much is the members deposit? 64,650. Is that the root? 64,650. 64,650. Aha. Ni gani ingine tuko nayo pale? Wow, I've seen another one. Don't know whether you can see that. I don't know whether you can see that. Can you tell me any other that you can trace that fall under equity? Retain earning carried down. Okay, nabia anatuambia kuna retain earning. Let me check. Interest on loan back overdraft. Members deposit, share capital, interest fee, statutory reserve fund. Aha. First of all, this reserve fund. Yeah. Ndio hiyo sasa. Statutory reserve fund. This statutory reserve fund tuko nayo pale. How much is our statutory reserve fund? How much is our statutory reserve fund? How much is our statutory reserve fund? Check from your end. Statutory ngapi? Ngapi? 740. But you ask yourself, did we have any other reserve somewhere? Do you have the additional reserve? Do you have additional reserve? Tulikuwa na additional reserve mahali? Because we have to put all reserves here. There's somebody who have said retained earning. How much is our retained earning? Reserves, retained earning, those are, you need to understand that you're dealing with the same thing. Profit from the balance sheet. Okay, for profit from the balance sheet, need to appropriate. Okay. Somebody is telling us of the profit from the balance sheet. How it was 190. 190. Okay. Since we had to appropriate, we cannot pick that. Somebody who has said retained earning. Sijui alikuwa anarifaa gani. Which one were you referring to? Retained earning? Retained earning, which were you referring to? Somebody who had referred to retained earning. Which one are you referring to? Do we have brought down? Some additional information number 6. So got additional information number 6 pale. Kongapi. As per the relevant ministry regulation, cooperative society are required to transfer 20% of net earning to a statutory reserve. Now, what was the net earning? Then you look at that. I think we had this 20%, right? Ilikuwa inakuja ngapi? We had it somewhere. Only that I don't know my workings. 20% of the what to be transferred. Yeah, we had it somewhere. The Doreen Tombia ilikuwa 28. Is everyone able to see the 2838 that we had computed somewhere when we were preparing? Is it appropriation account? When we were preparing the appropriation account, is everyone able to see that figure? Is everyone able to see that figure? Because that was to be transferred to the reserves, the general reserve. Is everyone able to see that? That was to be transferred to the general reserve. Can you confirm? So that you're able to see where the figure is coming from, right? So you have to adjust the money. Is everyone able to see? Is everyone able to see that? Can you confirm? So next is transfer to general reserve. Yes, okay, people are able to see. So we have transfer. General reserve. So our shillings and pounds, what we are transferring is what we have in the trial balance of the reserve. That was the balance brought down. We are having how much? Trial balance tuko na ngapi? 13,740. Hiyo ni ya kwanza. 13,740 plus 2838. Yeah, that was transfer. So what's the total transfer? What's the total transfer? Total transfer ni ngapi? Tunaenda vizuri. And the time is okay. Yes. So much. As we move to the next. 16,578. 16,578. 570. Then we had the appropriation account. Appropriation account ilipatia something. Appropriation account. Appropriation account. What did we have from the appropriation account? Somebody can look at it well. For the appropriation account, yeah, it gave us a balance of 17,454. For those people who are in class, or I hope everyone have already looked at the video that we did in our last class. Good. Then we check whether we have any other item that fall under reserve. Remember, deposit, share capital on the credit side. And if I look at it very well, I cannot get. I'm not able to get any. So we can go to the liability. Liability do not specify. Liability don't specify. Don't classify them. Liability, just put them. Liability sasa si mnazijua. Liabilities mnazijua. Nipatie liability ya kwanza. Sasa ni items zenye zimebaki kwa ile trial balance yetu, na if there is additional information that is capturing that, done. Accrued rent ni ngapi? Sasa hizo tunaweka tu. Accrued rent ni how much? Bank overdraft, hizo ziandika tu, alafu tuone. Bank overdraft, haya. Ziko tu pale direct pale. So 49.50, napewa hii kama 49.50. Bank overdraft nayo ni ngapi? I hope that 410, right? Huh? Bank overdraft ni? Is it that 6150? 6150. 6150. Alright, patie ingine. Any other liability? Remember here we are not classifying whether non-current or ziko pale. Check on your credit side. Pension for audit fee. Can you see that somewhere? Sundry. Kuna mtu anapatia sundry sasa. Sundry creditor, yes. Sundry creditors. Na napewa ngapi? Ni ngapi sundry? Kiangalia pale sundry yangu. Is it 3410? 3410? 3410. I hope that is what you have. What else do we have? We had provision for audit fee. Can you see provision for audit fee somewhere? Your PR. It's just for the. Can you see provision? Can you see that? Audit fee. Tu pole pale kwa additional information number 3. Audit fee. Provision for audit fee. Provision for audit fee. The amount is we shall pick 6,000. Staff salaries and wages amounting to that 200. So salaries accrued. Hapo tu chini ya provision. Salaries accrued. Konga pick that 200. Shanta tu vizuri. Interest on members' deposits is to be provided. Still, those provisions, they fall under liability. If that means they're not paid, right? They are not paid, but they are provided for. So anything that you hear that the examiner is telling you to be provided, they're not paid. So 60, this is 60 what? 6086. Salaries not paid is 3200. Accrued. Salaries accrued 3200. Is that correct, Mary? It's not 32? Kidogo. Nasema si 32. Bona. See that too. Why are you not? Why are you saying, Mary, can you expound your point? I can class. His salaries accrued 3200. His salaries accrued 3200 from your end. From my end, now 3200. Mary, please check additional information. Salaries accrued. We're looking now at additional information. Oh, stated before. Yes, ni before. Acha tuone kidogo. Before you. Oh, you stated before. Okay, sawa. So it was ni kama hizi text zangu zinakuja zina delay. All right. Now we have this other thing, the 60, 68. Hiyo ni nini? 60 something that was interest on members' deposits accrued. Interest on members' deposits, 60, 86. It was just provided for, but was not paid. 60, 86. Any other item class that maybe we have left? Try to look at accrued rent tumepewa. Iko kitu tumeacha. Any other item? Yeah, I can see something pending. Amount due to members. Yes. Asante and yes. Do you remember that there's this that 20% according to the law, to the bylaws of the cooperative society, 20% is sent to the accrued rent duty. 20% is sent to the general reserve, and then 80% amount due to members. Amount asante due to members. So that is 80% of ilikuwa profit ilikuwa profit ya ngapi? Profit ya ngapi? I think you can give me that. The profit. 80% of the profit. Profit was how much? Was it 19 or 14? 80% of that figure. Profit ilikuwa ngapi? Ile tulikuwa tunaenda ku appropriate. If you remember very clearly, what about sundry provision? 14,190. 14,190. Hebu kwanza nipatie hii. Alafu tuone itakuwa ngapi? Na mtu anauliza sundry, kuna sundry tumeacha maybe. Sundry reserve. Sundry creditor. Sundry tuko na ngapi? Sundry provision. Okay. Sundry provision. Yeah, hata hiyo hatuwezi iacha. 11,352. 11,352 is what people are getting. In our okay. No. In our I want us to look at our trial balance. I want us to look clearly our trial balance. Do we have amount due to members in our trial balance? Amount due to members in our trial balance. Tulikuwa nayo kweli? Because we need to check here. Hapa tunafaa tukue makini sana. And then you check additional information. Cannot just pick that. Additional information. So we have dividend from investment for 70. Accrued rent, sawa. Sundry provision. Look, first of all, we pick sundry provision before we record that. Sundry provision. So class of sundry provision. That is naona ngapi? 8930. 8930. Good. Now we are left with amount due to members. I want us to think about this amount due to members. Amount due to members. Now, how do we get this amount due to members, by the way? How do we get amount due to members? Somebody, I want some insight so that you get to understand better. Amount due to members. Amount due to members, somebody. Hiyo ndio nataka tuone vile tutaipata. Amount due to members. Somebody has to guide us here. I want you to look at Ngoja kidogo. I want you to go and look at whatever that we had for Safi, and we had a portion of members in Safi. We had a portion of members in Safi and also the other product. That portion, before we even look at the appropriation, before we even look at the appropriation, can you give me that of Safi, a portion? Can you put it somewhere? Safi, portion of member, amount due to member ya Safi. Na huyu mwingine alikuwa anaitwa Mzuri. Hiyo portion ndio inaendana for members first of all. Yes, kuna ingine ya now the profit. Kumbuka profit ni nini? Profit ni assets. Sasa tukiangalia hii product, hii ndizo zilikuwa due. Whatever that was due is in the two product. So the 80% of the profit, that is asset. Yes, hiyo ni pesa ya nini? Ya nani? Hiyo ni pesa ya nani? Hiyo ni pesa ya members. So it will be under asset, right? Haya, nipatie Safi amount due to members. Mwenye alifanya hiyo kwa Safi. Kama ulifanya hiyo, naweza kuona amount due to members kwa Safi. Ilikuwa ngapi? 14,000. That was amount due to member, and it was 80% of whatever that we had, 14,000. What about that of Mzuri? Yes, it was 80% of 17,500. Haya, Mzuri, 92.24. So the amount due to member will be the total of the two. So it is good to note that. So you could have taken 17,500 plus the total of Mzuri, and then you find 80% of that. The total of Mzuri, and you find 80% of that. The total of Mzuri, I think it was 11,500. Now with that, what's the total here? So that we get a amount due to members here. Amount due to member. Profit is already accounted for, so you cannot put it again. It is 23,224. 23,224. I know hiyo ililetea watu shida. I know hiyo ilikuwa item that brought a very big problem. So can you tell me between the, how many are they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Kwa hizo marks 8 au kama ticks 8 ulipata ngapi? Kwa wenye walifanya ulipata ngapi? Kwa hizo ticks 8. How many did you get the correct? 3. Quintal alipata 3. It's a good trial. But ukiwa unafuatilia the additional information for, okay, for that means 1, 2, 3, 4, okay. So that is half of it. Napiga 4. Good. Ukiwa unafuatilia additional information, please check. Please be in love with the Bila. This will save you B, and then split it. Say that these are credited, these are debited. So all drawings, all assets, all expenses, all assets, they have a debit balance. So on the trial balance, they'll be debited. All liability, or equity item, or reserve, revenue, and also the accumulated depreciation, they are credited. That will guide you, and you'll find yourself having a simple time while solving that question. And that's how you can maybe confirm whether it is adding up. Somebody give me something to do with that. 1061. 1061, right? Was it 1061? 330, right? I don't know. Was it this way? 1061, 330, right? and then you confirm whether it's coinciding with that side. But during exam tafadhali, even there's no need of this, there's no need of this, there's no need of that. That one will not earn you anything. So don't waste time. Don't waste time that you want to make it balance. Hapana. Hiyo fanya after. Now we are having some few weeks to exam. 3 weeks to exam. Therefore, during exam, please, once you indicate all your items like this, once you put them like this, don't waste time computing the totals here. This one you do it after you are through with the 5 questions. When you're through with the 5 questions, now you have luxury time. You have time to come and lembesha and putting the total here. And when you come to lembesha and you find that it is not balancing, please leave us tuachie hivyo. Leave it the way it is. Tuachie venye iko. Don't start rubbing, my friend. But you want to force it. Hapana. Do not. Just leave it the way it is. The way it is. The way it is. So I think that is it as far as the cooperative society is concerned. That is it. That is it. Now, I would like to know whether we are together up to that point. Are we now together up to that point? So that is what we have there. So make sure that at least you go through it once again. You go through it once again. We shall find another question for early view, and hope it will be very nice. Hope it will be very nice. Hope it will be very nice. So why can't we have a break of 5 minutes, and then we shall be back by 6 or 7. 6 or 7. So we proceed. Can proceed. We can proceed. And we're now going to look at this topic of pension. So this is going to introduce and shall be through the next section. Yes, financial statement for retirement. Financial statement for retirement scheme, benefit scheme. This is governed by IAS 26. It's governed by IAS 26. Okay, just Togo. Financial statement of pension retirement scheme, of pension or retirement scheme, pension or retirement scheme. So you find that the government provides a certain fund whereby you're going to contribute your funds. After you retire, you're going to get your fund. You can get it fully or partial, depending with what you want. So there are some instances we find that people may get it partial, may get the partial. Maybe if you have invested in that fund, maybe 2 million, you get 1 million, and then the other 1 million is converted. You're given an asset that you'll be earning some amount every every month. So it's like you have another employment, but now you're not working. So you will be earning some money every month. So some people opt to maybe pick a lump sum amount, and then they go and enjoy the money is depleted. So it's always advisable to look in the future. So you can pick half the amount and then the rest leave them there. You'll be getting something at the end of every month. The end of every month, they'll be sending you something because you have now invested. You have now converted your money to an investment through the asset acquisition. But they're the one to manage what? To manage your fund. The one to manage your fund. So as you grow old, it is always good to know that there are two ways you can receive your pension fund, right? You can either receive it in the lump sum, all of it. If it is 5 million, you receive 5 million, and then go and run yourself, go and manage your money. Or you can pick half of it, or maybe you can say a certain percentage of the money. After that, the remaining percentage, you will be earning some return from it every month. So every month you'll be receiving some money from the fund. So we're going to look at what it entails and what we expected to know under this. So you can write something regarding the same. You say that pension scheme are trustees. Pension scheme are trustees. Pension scheme. Pension scheme are trustees. Pension scheme are trustee who receives and manages. Who receives and manages. Who receives and manages. Who receives and manages contribution to be used after retirement. Manages contribution. Who receives and manages contributions to be used after retirement. To be used after retirement. To be used after retirement. Then you proceed. I see next point is a retirement benefit scheme. A retirement benefit scheme. A retirement benefit scheme is a fund which receive contribution. A retirement benefit scheme. A retirement benefit scheme. A retirement benefit scheme. A retirement benefit scheme is a fund. Is a fund which receives it's a fund which receives contribution by both receives contribution by both employer and employee. Employer and employee. You know the rate. Manage the same money, manage the same, and pays the pension to employees, and pays the pension to employees. Pays the pension to employees upon retirement. Upon retirement. Who can give me a good example of this fund or this scheme? A good example of this scheme in Kenya. The fund, NSSF, e.g. NSSF. That is a good example, NSSF. How much are you charging to those person earning above, is it 36,000? 6%, right? 6%. 6%. Although we have some tires, it will keep on changing, right? Inasonga kusonga kabisa. Inasonga kusonga kabisa. From 200 for both employer, employee, to 1080, both employer, employee, to 2160. How I wish that God will help you get that money. NSSF. Aha, that's good. I want us to define past employment benefit plan. Past employment benefit plan. Past employment. Naweza ambiwa define hii. Siseme past employment benefit plan. Past employment benefit plan. Past employment benefit plan. Past employment benefit plan. So kutana na PEBP, it is past employment benefit plan. Past employment benefit plan. Okay. So you say that this is a formal agreement between an employer. It is a formal agreement between employer and employee. It is a formal agreement between employer and employee that the employee will be paid pension upon retirement. It is a formal agreement between employer and employee that employee will be paid pension. Employee will be paid pension. In fact, it's post, not past, post. Post will be paid pension after or upon retirement. Post. After you retire, you'll be paid pension. You'll be paid pension. How many have friends who have received this pension fund? How many have friends? Those people who have retired maybe from the organization that you work in and they have successfully received their pension. How many? Nani ako na rafiki mwenye amereceive pesa? Kuna mtu kweli? Hakuna. Somebody is caring about your old age. Somebody is caring about your old age, but we shall overcome. Types of, we have two types of PEBP. Types of PEBP, the post-employment benefit plan. We have two types. Moja, defined contribution plan. Defined contribution plan. And two, defined benefit plan. Defined benefit plan. Defined contribution plan and defined benefit plan. So we can start with the first one, defined contribution plan. Defined contribution plan. And say that both the employer and the employee, we are under defined contribution plan. I want you to understand that too. Sometimes the examiner may bring it and tell you to differentiate between the defined contribution, and the other one, which is defined benefit plan. Defined benefit plan. So we are defining the first one, defined contribution plan. Saying that both the employer and the employee, both the employer and the employee pay amount to the fund. Both employer, employee, they pay the amount to the fund. Pay the amount to the fund. Full stop. Both employers and employees both employer and employee contribution is defined. Contribution is defined. And to understand more, put in bracket and say known in advance. Known in advance. Both employer and employee, kama saa hii, tunajua kwamba if you're earning above 36,000, your contribution to the fund is 2160. It is known. Unajua kwamba ni 21. It is defined, right? 2160, the other person 2160. You add the two. Who feel that your pesa ni mingi sana kulingana na uchumi? Who feel that money is a bit high kulingana na venye ilikuwa? Yani anasikia kama iko mingi sana. Ama mko very comfortable with that? No. If you compare with what we had, 200, hiyo hata sijui ni percentage gani. Hiyo sijui ni percentage gani. If you just look at the percentage, it's a very high percentage. Somebody is caring for you, your old age. Disaster. Lakini sasa utafanya namna gani? Tuchape kazi. Lazima ujipa financial management, lazima ujipange vizuri. Jipange sawa. Jipange sawa. So ujipange kabla upangwe. Yeah, we shall overcome. Jipange. Have something that will support you in your old age. Sawa. To support you in your old age. Yani wakati unatembea na hiyo kugojo ile mti ile, tunaenda kufuatilia pesa yako ya pension. Okay. We continue. We are saying that the amount is known in advance. That is in bracket. And the premium is to be paid after retirement. And the premium is to be paid in long run. My friend Dori, nataka utafute mmoja mwenye ameretire na amejaribu kufuatilia pesa. My friend, there's a lot that happen. Wachache sana bana tunasema kwamba utazipata, yes, unaweza zipata, lakini 50-50. Tier 1 only for 20. Superior pension scheme. Yeah, we have different schemes, by the way. There's a way you can plan with the employer, by the way, to make it easier. There's a way they collaborate with some insurance, right? And you'll be in a position to do what? Kuna vile tu inakuwa divided hiyo for 20, right? Vile tu ina tier 1, tier 2, at that. Kuna vile ukisha plan na employer wako that a certain amount inaenda haiendi kwa NSSF. Unajua sasa NSSF ni ya serikali, right? Inaweza enda kwa a private entity, whereby now they will be the fund manager. They will manage that. At least hapo ni better kidogo. Better kidogo. The other route. Haya. The other route is it's a good route. So we're saying that it is known in advance and the premium is to be paid after retirement. Premium to be paid after the retirement is known, not known, depend on how well investment undertaken by the retirement benefit scheme are performing. So the money that is limited there, it does not stay there. They do some investment, right? They do some investment. And we are told that there will be some premium. You get something on top of what you contribute. But that premium depends on whether the investment that they have made have brought some returns. Investment that they have made have brought some return. I'm looking at the case whereby they have already invested all the money, and that's the time you want to follow up that you need your money. You need your money. Okay. So we are saying that known in advance, and the premium to be paid after retirement depend on how well investment undertaken by the retirement benefit scheme are performing. So the premium is not defined, right? Whatever that is defined is the amount that we are contributing to the fund. As far as the defined contribution plan is concerned, have you understood when we talk about defined contribution? Have you understood? Have you understood that statement, defined contribution? We know the amount to remit. The employer know, the employee know. Then we go to defined benefit plan. Defined benefit plan. The pension the employee receives upon retirement. It is the pension the employee receives. The pension the employee receives upon retirement is defined. The pension, I hope that is typing error. The pension the employee receives, employee receives upon retirement is defined, i.e. known in advance. So if you are working in the pension scheme or in the NSSF, please help those people who have retired and they want to make a follow-up of the year retirement benefit. If they are making a follow-up, please, if you're working there, assist them to get the fund. So you say that under the defined benefit plan, the pension the employee receives upon retirement is defined, i.e. it is known. It is known. Pension that you receive, it is known. It is known like that. And then tunasema kwamba they usually prepare two statements, or they prepare some financial statements. And the first one is statement of changes in net asset. They prepare two statements. One, statement of changes in net assets. 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 Changes in net assets. Statement of changes in net assets. Statement of changes in net assets. The other one, they prepare two statements. The other one is statement of net assets. Statement of net assets. So those are the two. Statement of net assets. And the statement of net assets. So we shall be looking at this. And this is important. This is important. This is important. Can start with statement of changes in net assets format. Changes in net assets. Statement of changes in net assets. So it is equivalent to statement of profit or loss. It is equivalent. It is equivalent to statement of profit or loss. It is equivalent to statement of profit or loss. It is prepared for setting the surplus to deficit of that financial year. So examples of income included investment income, contribution by employee and employee. So examples of income included. Examples of income included kuna tatu, investment income, kuna investment income is what I invest or pate. Then kuna another one here we call it contribution. Contribution by employers and employees. Those are some of the income. In long run, there's somebody who have said that in long run, it is a benefit to the employees. All right, so the format is just income and expenditure. So we shall have it and have it here. Sharing in sharing. So you can have incomes. Contribution. So for contribution, kuna huyu employee, employer, voluntary contribution, kuna voluntary contribution, then investment income, you can have it. We have rental income. Sometimes they have some rentals. They do invest. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. A lot of money. Transfer from other scheme. You remember in the public sector, transfer from is always an income from other scheme. What was our public sector accounting? So as far to the same transfer from is an income. Transfer to is an expense. Transfer from other income. Transfer to other scheme. I have to adjust this very well. Transfer to from other scheme, that is an income. Transfer to is an expense. Then liberation gain on investment property. Valuation gain. Gain on investment property, investment gain on investment property, and any other gain on sale of investment property, any other gain on sale of investment property. Then from there you get total income. So you have any other gain, and then you get total income here. Total income. Then you go to where we have what? Expenses. So we can have expenses down here. You know, I can just adjust to the other end. So we can have the expenses on this end. Expenses on this end. So for the expenses first, we have transfer to other scheme. Transfer to other. Can you go and remind yourself the public sector, because we are now almost starting our revision to other scheme. Can you remind yourself the public sector, what we did under public sector accounting? Then we have benefit paid. Benefit paid, hizi ndizo tumesema premium, lakini tumesema see a must, not a guarantee you get the premium. Not a guarantee. How? If they don't make profit, administrative expenses, admin expenses. Then we have revaluation loss on investment property. Revaluation loss on investment property. Yeah, unaweza pata loss. And if they get a loss, any loss on sale of investment property. Any loss on sale of investment property. Because now get that it can be either surplus or deficit. Si mnakumbuka hata kule kwingine kwa public sector, we were getting either surplus or deficit. So let's see. Then that is it. What about statement of net assets? Finish up that. Malizia hiyo. Tuangalie statement of net assets format, and then we shall be doing an illustration in our next class as we branch wide this unit. We try to wind up the units. So watu wa revise kabisa, ukipata swali fanya tuma. Kwa mzuri sana. So let's look at statement of net asset. This is a statement of net asset. Statement of net assets. So it is equivalent to statement of financial position. Equivalent is equivalent to statement of financial position. Nani anaweza nikumbusha? Nani anaweza nikumbusha? In the public sector accounting, when we were preparing the statement of financial position, there was an item that was bringing the whole difference between the other entity and the public sector. Who can remind me that item? That item, and it was under equity. If you can remind me that, I'm sure that you are revising. Who can remind me? There was an item that was bringing the whole difference under the preparation of statement of financial position of public sector entity and other entity. Which item was that? And it was under equity section. Somebody? Sasa watu waanze kurudi nyuma kwenye tulitoka, right? Angalia, kujikumbusha. Start reminding yourself. You are calling it accumulated fund. Remember, we did not have. This is who? Juma. Thank you so much, Juma. Yes, accumulated fund. Now you find that that's the only difference that arises. We don't have share capital. We don't have shareholders in the financing of the government entities. So the same case applies here. You see that we have accumulated fund here. So almost the same. So statement of asset format. So format of statement of asset. Format of statement of net asset. Is the last thing that we are doing. Right. Then we can have shillings. So assets. For this, we classify them as current assets. So under non-current, we have investment in government. Sasa hizi sasa mtaanza kusikia hizi new terms. Investment in government securities. Ni kama gani? By the way, we don't have many. Kama T-bills, right? The T-bills. So investment in quoted shares. They are quoted in the Nairobi Security Exchange. Then unquoted shares as well. Of course, this is investment, and quoted share. Shall be looking at an example, an illustration. Then MMF, MMF, money market fund, also do that. So we can put this. Then we have current asset. So class under current asset, we have bank and cash balance. Bank and cash balance. And as well put them here. Bank and cash balance. Then we have contribution due and receivables. Contribution due. Tunagoja wa contribute. Kuna wenye tunagoja due. Ili kama receivable tunagoja. Then kuna nini? No, not receivable. Receivables hapa, receivables. So and then you get total assets. Total asset, yeah. Down there we have total total assets. Set like that. Hizi utapewa hizo. Then the last part is the under the equity section, whereby now we don't have the share capital. We have accumulated fund. Accumulated fund. Right. So the other section, the last section. Good. The last section here, we have the final section, whereby we shall be having accumulated fund. So shillings 100,000 here. Shillings. It can be just shillings. That it's around 1,000. So we have accumulated fund. Accumulated fund. You can add or less surplus you add. Surplus utaongeza, lakini deficit utafanya nini? Deficit utatoa. So it'll be that way. You add or less depending with what you get. For the deficit, you will less. For the surplus, you add. Accumulated fund at the end of the year, if it was we had something that was done what? Brought down. Accumulated fund at the end of the year. End of the year. And the total hizo. Then current assets. How much? Current liability, sorry. Current liability. Not asset, but liabilities. Current liabilities. So benefit due. Yeah, we have to pay them. Accrued expenses. Then you get total accumulated fund and liabilities. Total accumulated fund and liabilities. Total accumulated fund and liability. So there's a way, even before we do illustration, once you understand the format, you can do a certain question. Since you just need to identify the item. You just need to identify the item. But in our next session, we're going to do an illustration. And then we plan on revision. I don't want to ask today that which topic should we revise. No, that one we shall do on Thursday. Is that okay? Is that okay with everyone? Because that is marking the end of our today's session. Is that okay? Is that very okay? Is that okay? Yes, from Simon. All right. So I think let's wind it at that point. Thank you so much for having time to attend our today's session. May you all have a blessed day. Goodbye.